Good evening, well, not good evening, it's good afternoon for once, from London, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and Elimination Chamber has just concluded. We've just seen one of the earliest premium live events from WWE in a long time, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling, insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis. And this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited. Here in the UK, it's 10 to 2 in the afternoon. Ideal time. I'm loving life, but somebody who's not loving life and is probably extremely tired right now is my co-host for this show, and that is Clark Taylor. How are you, Clark?
You know, I'm doing better than expected. You drink enough coffee and you have good live wrestling from Australia. 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. flies by faster than 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., at least as far as I know. I mean, I'm doing as well as you can, all things considered. Been up since 1:45. Already fixed the Wi-Fi. 2 cups of coffee and an English muffin, though, and I'm ready to roll.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to top you there. I've had 3 cups of coffee getting me going. I'm almost reaching Tony Khan levels of caffeine intake. But we got a comment here from Bobby Batito saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Bobby. I hope you had a great time watching the Chamber today. But somebody who did have a great time watching the Chamber today with me on Zoom, we were watching it together, and that is Tiffany Stratton's #1 fan, Shad. How are you, Shad?
OMG. I just had a Tiffany epiphany that she was the MVP of the entire PLE. I'm doing good, brother. It's good old morning time over here. I've been up and at 'em at 5 o'clock every single day, so this is nothing new to me. I got the title belt. I got the robe. I'm on chill mode. And we are here to do our victory lap. She didn't win the match, but she left her mark on her first match on a PLE. So let's give her flowers real quick before we start the show. You know, who got a bouquet with nearby? Anybody? All right.
She didn't win the match, but she won the hearts of a nation. She certainly did. She was over as anything in Australia. It was great, and we'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, we've got to mention, also joining us today, Soul. How are you, Soul?
Happy days are here indeed. The Scottish have won. The Scottish have won something, boys. The Scottish have won something, so I'm very happy indeed. Yeah, cool. Tiffy time, whatever. Shad, you're not getting that catchphrase over. That's not going to become a best-selling T-shirt. Please keep that away with that title in the closet. Ain't going to be a thing. So, yeah, it's just actually nice to see the sun for once as well. Well, whatever sun I do get in Scotland, but let's enjoy the rest of the show, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's get straight into things. We got Bobby Batito saying he was drinking water to keep him awake. Fair play.
I dabbled in the old H2O myself.
I've got a bit of sparkling H2O with me here. We've also got Coach 23. Shout out to you, Coach. And yeah, let's get straight into things and let's talk about the Women's Elimination Chamber, because these women, they killed it. There was a few moments in this match which, hey, looked a little bit sloppy, maybe were a little bit risky, but every time they saved those moments, they recovered them really, really well. Raquel Rodriguez, let's put some respect on her name. Tiffany Stratton jumped off the cage and Raquel grabbed her and saved her. When she was going to fall right on her back, Raquel grabbed her, and when she went over with her, literally saved a potential injury. Shout out Raquel for that. She did a tremendous job. And throughout, honestly, all these women just worked great together. Tiffany Stratton, like we said, the crowd loved her. Australia loved her. She was one of their own. If this show was in the UK, we'd be chanting, Tiffany Stratton, she's one of our own. But unfortunately, Australia don't have the brain cells to be able to come up with unique chants like that. I'm only joking. I'm big into cricket. But honestly... This was a fantastic.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
This was a fantastic way to kick off this premium live event. And yeah, it was confirmed. Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. And I mean, it was predictable. We all pretty much predicted this going in, but it ended up happening. A bit of a surprise was Naomi, how quickly Naomi went out of the match. But I mean, hopefully they got some plans for her there because she was also super, super over. But this is how you kick off a premium live event. What was your thoughts, Clark?
I really, really enjoyed this one, and especially for watching a match at 2 a.m., it immediately locked me in. It woke me up. It was the wake up match that I needed. Liv Morgan, you didn't really mention a ton, but I thought she did an excellent job on both her spot off the chamber as well as in the finish. The finish was great with the roll up on Belair, followed by the manhandle slam. I thought she did an awesome job too. Really, all 6 women in this match deserve major props for opening the show like this. It was awesome. Becky was kind of who I had going in prediction wise, but a lot of us did on the prediction show, but it didn't bother me. At one point in the match, I started to convince myself that I thought Tiffany Stratton may have a chance as she started to get hot early in the match and having the most eliminations. And Bianca was more in the match than I expected her to be till the end when not inevitably, but Becky picks up the win. I didn't have any issue with that, though. That match makes a ton of sense at Mania for me. It could main event night 1. I think we know what the main event is night 2, but either way, I'm excited about it. And based on what we saw at the end of the show, that's the marquee matchup. That's the billboard matchup, Becky and Ripley, and I'm excited about it. So no harm, no foul. In the first match, I thought it was a great way to open the card in Australia, and the crowd was scorching all night. They were, but the crowd was scorching for this one, which is great to see.
The temperatures were scorching, and so was that crowd. They were really, really hot all night long. 50,000 of them. I mean, hey, this is the show before WrestleMania, and it's that hot. Imagine how loud WrestleMania is going to be this year in Philadelphia. I am hyped for that. And you mentioned Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan did do a great job in the chamber, but I think everybody expected her to, be really over, to be one of the most over ones in the match. But in fact, the Australian crowd turned on her really, really quickly.
They did.
Because she kept, doing offense on Tiffany Stratton, who was the biggest babyface in this match. It was just
out of nowhere.
It was so crazy. It was random. It was so crazy. Some people, including Drizzy, right, who was running the Twitter account today, he credits this man for the rise of Tiffany Stratton. And that is Shad, because Shad, you were on, the Tiffy time boat before anybody else was, and now everyone's on it. An entire nation is following your direction. But we've got an interesting comment here, and that is Bobby Petito saying that he'd like to see WWE set up Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Do you think your girl could indeed be facing Bianca Belair, Shad?
Yes, I think that is going to be the match at WrestleMania because Tiffany Stratton proved to us this entire weekend that she belongs right on the main roster. I've been saying it from the get-go. The girl has an immense amount of talent in ring and as well as character. The charisma is there. The whole Tiffy time getting onto the main roster, the confidence, the playing that, Sharpay from High School Musical type of character. It's brilliant, bro. She is a class act, and she is going to be the future of the main roster women's division. So she showed out. She was electric. All her spots were great off the top, doing the handstand, hitting it, and she got a lot of powerful offense and a high riser for her as we continue going on. And you built a lot of potential feuds, man. You can make a case for her and Naomi to come out, her and Liv Morgan from last night into tonight. There's a little bit of feud with there, and then her and Bianca. So it can either be a one-on-one match, but I also could see a possible fatal four-way between Naomi, Liv, Bianca, and Tiffany at Mania. Let's give credit to the ladies, man. They ran this pay-per-view tonight, right? The opening match, the main event, the kickoff match as well. Salute to the Kabuki Warriors, Indy Hartwell, and Candice LeRae. They set the tone for this pay-per-view. It was very fun. I love the pacing. Every woman wants the opportunity to get the title match, and they all fought for that opportunity. It's one of those cases where you could have really made a case for any of these women to be a potential opponent for Rhea too. I know it hasn't been streamlined that, and we know that Becky was going into this as the favorite, but I mean, think about it. Bianca versus Rhea, that's a dream match. Tiffany
Yeah.
Stratton, a high riser versus Rhea, could have been great. Naomi, a returning star. Raquel with her history with Rhea. Liv with her history. It showed out, man. But end of the day, we all know it's Tiffy time, brother, and it is going to be a great ride. You are all seeing what my vision is. I just got citizenship in Australia. I am now an Australian citizen because they know ball. They know that Tiffy time is a future champ, just like your boy. And so, before you get to go back and rebuttal on me, Tiffany Stratton is better than Toni Storm. She's better than Britt Baker. She's better than every woman on the AEW roster. Let's not disrespect her no more. I'm tired of the slander. All right? You can keep that black and white old stuff over there because we on Tiffy time over here. That's all.
Wow. Big statement.
That escalated quickly.
It did. I mean, you mentioned 4 women, right? Maybe a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania. Well, there's quite a stacked roster over on SmackDown. Jade Cargill's lurking around as well. How about we chuck in a couple more names there? 6 women, a ladder match for a mid-card championship. Would you like to see that at WrestleMania?
I would love to see it, man. Nia Jax could even get thrown back into the fold. We'll talk about that later, but like you got, man, even I was very impressed with Candice LeRae today too. I know we're not talking about that match, but there's a lot of talent on that women's division. I think that WWE really has to hone in on it and give them the needed and deserving time because you can see the fans love them.
Yeah. I mean, Lord Virus of Nurgle disagrees with you, saying that the tag match was dire. But David Marge completely disagrees, and he says it was lit. But yeah, I mean, it really was just a fantastic way to open the show. David Marge saying it's an A+ rating for him. Awesome ending for sure. But Soul, listen, we know you've always said to Shad, Tiffany Stratton's overrated. She's not that good, but hey, did this performance change your mind on her?
So a couple of things first. Yes, I do agree. I think Tiffany Stratton is a very good wrestler. And honestly, I would love to see her become Money in the Bank this year and cash in on a Becky Lynch who wins the championship off Rhea. But then secondly, Shad, I mean, come on. First of all, really, if you were to go to Australia and with that kind of rhetoric, they would turn you around and deport you on the first Ryanair flight back. So calm down there, sonny boy. For the AEW Women's Division, I think there's many individuals there a bit superior to Tiffany Stratton. You got Mariah May, Deonna Purrazzo, Toni Storm. I would even say Saraya. I would even also say Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa are also very good. Chris Statlander as well. Julia Hart, who went through a great rise last year. So keep that rhetoric down for off the air for the show that's on very late that only maybe 2 people tune into. So yeah, you can keep that there. No, just keep that there. But as I mentioned,
a big following from NXT, to be fair.
Oh, we slandering our own the company we work for. Understood, brother. Understood.
I'm an independent contractor,
Understood. I'll make sure to hit the dislikes on Soul Sessions, but continue.
Yeah, sadly, dislike bar is gone, buddy. So I pay the high premium for that thing to be kept underneath, and you can keep the Russian bots there for your little viewership count. I've seen the payments coming out of that PayPal account, buddy. So, I mean, hey, fall and fun all around. It is light out, so we'll keep things lighthearted. I do agree. I think the chamber was very good. I don't think it was the best chamber of the night, though. Personal opinion there, because Scotland. But I also do think that, as many of you have said, this sets up a lot of things for the future. And I do think it will be a lot of great things for the future. A mid-card championship, though, I don't necessarily know at this point. While the tag titles are still around, I think
come on. You did an entire argument the other day supporting mid-titles, and as soon as it comes to WWE's women's division, you act like that's the only division in the entirety of professional wrestling which shouldn't have a mid-card title. No. At least I'm consistent with my view on mid-cards.
Here's the thing, right? While the tag titles are still around, don't introduce it, because I think look how struggling the tag division of the women's in the WWE is, and I think in other companies as well. You can't have all of that going on at once when it's not you're not paying attention to the tag division as it is. So if they scrap the tag belts and then introduce a mid-card championship in a 6-way Mania, I'd be perfectly fine with that. That's what I'll say. I'm perfectly fine with that as long as they scrap the tag titles.
I'll tell you what, so the comments are not liking you today.
No, they never like me. They never like me, and I'll happily I'll die on my pedestal with sword in hand, and you can all just bow beneath me.
Nightcrawler saying, bro thinks AEW's women's division is anything less than awful. I think I'm somewhere between both you guys. I think their division needs work. Yes, I don't think it's awful. Of course,
coming from the pixelated Mario guy and the knockoff Marvel character name, cool. But yeah.
Soul woke up and chose violence today. Right. But we got .0.garage saying he's coming to you live from Australia. What a premium live event. Absolutely. I hope if you did attend, you enjoyed it. If not, I just hope you enjoyed the time it was on at an appropriate time. But I mean, that was certainly a fun one. But now let's just jump straight into the next topic. And for this next topic, I need to get Clark in here, right? Because we had the tag team championships. We had the Judgment Day versus the New Cat Republic. I'm not even calling him that anymore. Mr. Dunay and Master Bate think that they can just steal the word Republic. They cannot. Dunay and Bate. They are not getting away with such a thing, and I will make sure that they do not. But they lost. Just like all Tottenham do is lose, because the Tottenham fans, they lose. It's obvious. It was going to happen. I called it on the prediction show. This isn't newsworthy. Pete Dunay, overrated. Masturbate. I mean, listen, he's one rating higher than Dunay, and he's just come from NXT. So if you've got little to no momentum coming from NXT, then hey, you're screwed on the main roster. They'll do great in the mid card, but anytime they'll be in a match of importance, just like the football team they support, they'll fail and fall flat on their faces. In all seriousness, this was a great match. Absolutely. Great to see British wrestling being, in the spotlight here. And I mean, listen, the only issue I had with this match at all was that spot in the corner. Damian Priest, I mean, it was really messy. He got the move on him was botched, and then instead of trying to do something different, he just decided to try and sell it a couple of seconds later into the ring post, and it looked so bad. Apart from that, though, this match was really, really, really fun, and I wouldn't mind seeing them run it back in the future, because listen, both of these tag teams, in all seriousness, in between those ropes, are fantastic, and this was another great match on the show. We got Saksham Samson saying the tag match cocked, and Coach 23 saying it was really good. Meanwhile, Bobby Petito, who I disagree with you on not many things, is saying that Mr. Dunay and Master Bate are great as a tag team. They are not great as a tag team. They are mid. In the words of Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Clark, what was your thoughts on this tag title match?
I can't lie. I don't have as big of a dog in the fight when it comes to the Tottenham thing as you do. So I got to admit.
I thought you were an Arsenal fan.
I'm not there yet. I am too, but it's you don't hate the Chargers the same way I hate the Chargers now that you're a Chiefs fan, right? So it's the scar tissue isn't there the same way. So I am personally a fan of both styles as far as Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are concerned.
I was about to kick you from the cold.
No. I'm a fan of both wrestlers. Their in-ring styles. I thought this was a fun matchup. The corner spot was hilarious. I was sipping my coffee at that point. I almost spilled it on my keyboard because I was kind of laughing ooh, he shorted that one. And it was so awkward. And the attempted save, I mean, they did their best. No knock. It happens from time to time, but it was just such a blatant one. It was so uncomfortable because there was just a slight hesitation between everyone involved. So it was one of the funkier spots of the night, but I actually got a good laugh out of it. So I didn't hate it too much. The finish to me was a little bit predictable in that I thought Judgment Day was going to retain. I just don't know what the direction is for the titles for Mania completely.
I do. It's obvious.
I feel like it's, what are you going to say? Pretty deadly? No. I'm kidding.
It's obviously Awesome Truth. That's what they've been building up to for months.
Awesome Truth, I think, is the key, but is Awesome Truth going over? That's the real question. Is Awesome Truth going to get their moment a la Sammy and Kevin? Not main eventing. That's what I mean more. Awesome Truth, I do think, is the obvious choice as far as the match is concerned, I don't know what we do with the tag division and titles headed out of Mania or after that match or even in that match. As much as I'm excited about the work that Truth has been putting in, seeing him pair with Miz again will be hilarious. It's not the flashiest of superstars currently carrying tag belts. I mean, compared to what the belts were last year with the Usos carrying them, their history as champions, main eventing night one, and then Sammy and Kevin, that story to where it's at now, it feels like a bit of a letdown tag division wise. Although I think tag team wrestling currently, which is one of my favorite things in wrestling, is a little cold in general. I mean, outside of the fact that we've got the Sting retirement match being a tag match, and a few other FTR kind of working their way up the rankings, as well as maybe Moxley and Claudio too over in AEW. In WWE, I don't know outside of the Awesome Truth thing what's going on with the tag division. I mean, the Usos are split up. The New Day isn't what the New Day used to be. I mean, I wouldn't even mind seeing a run out of Breakker and Corbin and a dominant run at some point on the main roster. I have no issue with that in the least. Because as much as I'd love to see Truth have a Mania moment holding up the tag belts, I don't know how long that one lasts carrying the belts as Awesome Truth with Miz.
It doesn't need to last long because as
I don't think it does.
As you can see by the booking of this match, right? Triple H clearly wants to, push English talent.
Right.
And I think he's made a clear mistake here. He's decided to push a couple of bottlers, right? Somebody who can't win when it really matters. But after WrestleMania, the Awesome Truth, win the tag team championships. And then we have a real English tag team, two just lovely gentlemen, right? Lovely guys, Pretty deadly. Yes, boys, winning the tag team championships.
They are survivors. It makes sense.
It's easy. It's easy. It really, really is. Coach 23 saying that I'm a heel against the new catch. Thank you for not saying that they're censored last word, because that's censored. They're just known as new catch here.
Well
they're not
played.
stealing anything of my intellectual property.
Nope.
But
Ben actually is the one who gave the Republic to Star Wars. Little known fact.
I did. I wasn't even born yet, and I did.
George Lucas called him. Personally.
I was playing chess when they were playing checkers before I was even born.
Ben, what do we do?
Well, exactly right. And listen, I just said to you guys, hey, you guys need to be playing chess instead of checkers, because most people are playing checkers by having to go on all the different social media apps and, typing in the name of their favorite influencers, whoever they want to follow. Well, we have the solution for you, and the solution is our good friends over at the Next Level app, because they have a link with all our links in one place. It's just 2 clicks and bang, you found us on any platform. And not only that, there's exclusive content on there. There's going to be some contests on there soon too as well. We'll have more on that in the coming days, weeks. But listen, this makes things really, really easy. And all you guys have to do is go to nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic. And we're there, and you're there. You can see all our links. It's in the description on YouTube. It's in our Instagram bio. It's in all our bios. It's really, really, really simple. It makes your lives easier, and it helps support us as well. Once again, that's nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms, all linked in one place. But well, Shad, I want to get your thoughts on something which a lot of people were talking about going into this show, and that is what they are going to do with Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, The Rock, and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because we had a Grayson Waller effect. Austin Theory introduced he brought out Grayson Waller. Austin Theory was playing the heel. Grayson Waller was playing a bit of a tweener. Grayson Waller, I've got to say, across this segment, he was just so entertaining. He really, really was in it. Like he rose to the level, and he's maybe one of the best, if not the best, talk show host in WWE in quite a while now. It's really refreshing the way he does it. It feels unique. But Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes came out, and the 2 big headlines. Firstly, Seth Rollins is cleared. He's almost cleared. He's almost cleared to compete. He's going to be back well before WrestleMania. And then the other headline is Cody Rhodes has challenged The Rock to a one-on-one singles match before WrestleMania, before Seth Rollins jumped in and said, hey, it's never one-on-one with the Bloodline. I'll be there to support you. Does this mean tag match? Does it mean we are getting a one-on-one before WrestleMania? Could that one-on-one lead to a triple threat match? Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities. But what do you think the outcome will end up being, Shad?
I think the outcome is ultimately going to be a tag team match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. I don't see where The Rock has a bunch of singles matches during this run. I don't know if he's in complete wrestling shape. He's definitely a focal point in the storyline and in the groove of WWE. But I feel like the safer thing would be having a tag team match and kind of intertwining all of them. And it possibly is probably going to be night one main event, knowing that Seth is healthy. He's going to be cleared way before Mania, like you said, makes it seem like he's probably going to do double duty. He'll probably wrestle like Cody Rhodes night one, do that tag team match, and both of them have their title matches on night two. Also, it gives a caveat. It gives an opportunity to possibly get Seth banged up and makes him still look strong in defeat if he does lose to Drew McIntyre. So I think that's the goal for that, and that's what I kind of got around it. I didn't hate the segment. I thought it was a fun segment. Like you said, Grayson Waller having an opportunity, getting an opportunity in his home country, being the star that he is in front of his people. Very funny, a lot of good one-liners, right? I think Austin Theory did pretty well too. He showed a sense of charisma and comedy aspect, but I don't know. I feel like the build to it was cool for the fans, but if you're watching on TV, it's kind of just a whatever segment, right? I mean, the big thing that you get out of it is that we might get a potential tag team match, but it wasn't anything like that I'm up in arms about. I want to see the interaction between Cody and The Rock, or Cody and Roman, or Seth and Roman, like all that tied together, a little bit more serious to it. When you add it on the talk show like the Grayson Waller effect, feel like you kind of add more silliness to it, more joking to it. The thing I kind of got most out of it is I kind of want to see Cody and Seth get a little tune-up tag team match versus Waller and Theory. I think that could be a fun little one as well. But all in all, it was solid. I know everybody in the comments is saying that stomp was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Austin Theory, that boy can sell, man. Like, that boy can really sell. We saw it with the stunner prior to it as well. Like, he's a heck of a worker. So all in all, solid.
Absolutely. No, that stomp was great. And I mean, the fact that he was able to hit a stomp kind of hints that he's being cleared. It's, surely they wouldn't allow him to do that if he wasn't. So I'm kind of guessing in reality, he already has, been given the okay. You can compete again now, Seth. And I'm excited to see him back in the ring. And WrestleMania, could he do double duty? We spoke about it yesterday. Wrestling Republic, specifically Kobe and Anthony, are really divided on this topic, but it's going to be interesting to see, what happens. Will it be a tag match, or will, it be a triple threat? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm certainly excited to see the outcome for that. But something else that I was excited for, something else that Australia was excited for, was to see their hometown hero, Nia Jax. I'm only joking, but she really is from Australia too. But Rhea Ripley return home with the World Women's Championship to defend it against Nia Jax. And I thought it was a solid main event match. Probably my least favorite match on the card, actually. But I still thought it was really, really solid. One of Nia Jax's best matches since she's come to WWE. And I mean, we were talking about this while watching it. Nia Jax has just come on leaps and bounds. She's improved so much. And I kind of feel like because of what happened in the past, she doesn't get the recognition. People don't respect how much she's improved, because she proved tonight. She's improved over the last few months, to be honest with you, how great she can be in the ring. And her and Rhea Ripley put on a really solid main event match. The crowd loved it. They went home happy. The Australian native won in Rhea Ripley. And hey, now it's confirmed. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, the dream match, WrestleMania 40, Philadelphia. Take my money, Triple H. but I'm sure you already know you have it. But, so, what did you think about this main event of Elimination Chamber?
I thought it was a very, very good match, honestly, in my opinion. Nia Jax, I feel like you can compare it a bit to Roman Reigns. You know how Roman Reigns was very heated, not very light. People thought bad worker, messing up on promos, took some time, then came into their own. I think you could say that for Nia Jax as well. Honestly, that whole Thunderdome era, her tag title run and the whole thing with Lana, I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was silly, dumb fun, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. And her coming back, I feel like she has done some great stuff. So yeah, I've got no problem with Nia Jax. I think she will be a great addition to the roster in maybe a couple of years as well as some sort of character. Rhea, though. Looking at Rhea Ripley, you know, this was someone who was a part of NXT UK Women's Champion, did some great stuff with NXT as well, came up on the main roster, was pretty good for a wee bit, maybe lost for maybe a couple months, and then Judgment Day happened and just been taking the sky high. We saw her win the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39, bring it into the World Championship. Title run's been a bit but the character's been where it's been shining the most. However, what I do wonder though is why wasn't Judgment Day out to like celebrate or like, you know, come out with her at the entrance or anything like that? From my point of view, then I take it as Rhea Ripley's more over than Judgment Day as a whole and doesn't really need them. Because like I was just like looking at it and thinking about it, like seeing her do the entrance and everything. She is so much better than the Judgment Day in the entirety. I would honestly, why not do like? It's just so like weird. Like I see Finn and Damien and Dom as like they're the seven dwarfs and Rhea Ripley's like Snow White, like just like the lead.
Well, in every faction, there's usually a star, really.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a star. Like, if you look at the Nation of Domination or like the Undisputed Era and all that. Yeah, there was like Adam Cole who was like the main leader and all that. You know, Nation of Domination with The Rock and everything like that. But then like the other ones weren't so low beneath them that you would think, yeah, I couldn't care less about them.
They're tag team champions, in fairness. I don't think you can exaggerate that much.
I actually kind of agree with Soul, though. It does feel like that she's outgrown them in a way. It's hard to put my finger on exactly why, but I do hear where he's coming from. Like, I've felt that for a little bit now, because just given how great tonight's effort was in defending the title, we haven't gotten enough of that. And I think part of the reason is it feels as if she's got other obligations because of what's going on with Judgment Day, and she's just kind of outgrown them. That's how I feel, at least.
There's two reasons why I think tonight the Judgment Day didn't come out. One, because to you guys' point, I do think they're splitting up the Judgment Day. And Rhea and Priest have not been getting along recently. And I think the fact that they didn't come out is quite telling, you know, behind the scenes. So I think it does make a lot of sense in that way. And the other point is what Coach 23 says. Judgment Day was a heel in the show where Rhea Ripley was a face. That's the simple answer.
Yeah.
I have no offense. I don't really take that answer. You know, like they're a group. You know, like when Judgment Day had the whole AR thing, they had the 4 thingies. You know, 4 members and all that. So why weren't they there? They've always shown to be like kind of. I know you said Finn have been butting heads a wee bit, but I see it like this: Judgment Day needs Rhea. Rhea doesn't need Judgment Day. So honestly, I would just kick them to the curb as soon as possible because Rhea is just so much better than Judgment Day. She is an amazing leader.
Two of them are having a great tag team title reign, and the other one is the most hated heel in the company. And in fact, the most hated heel in professional wrestling, and that just can't really be disputed. There's no. There's nobody in professional wrestling who's getting louder boos from Dominic Mysterio, but also is getting so many social media hits and views as Dominic Mysterio. Where it's not go away heat like Baron Corbin had a couple of months ago.
No offense, buddy. I do think Dominic is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, remember that moment at Mania 39 when he came out to raise masks? I think that was great as well. I love that. Yeah. He is a heat magnet. I can absolutely agree with that as well. But then it makes me think, when Judgment Day collapses and does all that, Finn will probably just be in the mid card doing whatever. Priest, I think, is going to fail his cash in and then drift into the mid card. Dominic, I honestly think will be in the upper mid card. I think Dominic will be the best male individual to come away from all this.
I agree.
I do hope he can continue without being connected to Mami, But I wonder, will there be a bit of, kind of typecasting that always people are going to associate him as Mommy Second or something like that? I don't hope that, honestly. I would love him to go more down, what kind of Preston Vance was doing in AEW, like a luchador killer kind of gimmick. Maybe tries to take Dragon Lee's mask, tries to take Andrade's mask, something like that. Then he could do a final mask hunt on Rey Mysterio. That's a retirement match. I just hope he doesn't get typecasted as Mommy Second.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. That is, an excellent point. He's still young, though. But yeah, you're right. The next step they do following the Judgment Day is vital for his career. You are absolutely bang on about that. Anthony Manzano agrees with you guys. He's saying that Rhea has outgrown Judgment Day. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of natural at the minute where they're clearly, splitting them up, but it's kind of doing it in a natural way. And I really, really do like that. But something else that I really, really did like was the men's Elimination Chamber match. And I'm going to start this off by praising Randy Orton, the Viper, the Legend Killer, whatever you want to call him, because this guy, it's obvious he can't do as much in the ring as he used to do before. So he must have sat down and said to himself, well, if I can't do as much, then what can I do better? And what can I do even better? Selling. And he's always been one of the best at selling. But, I mean, this performance, he sold like crazy and he sold so well. I legitimately thought he was injured during part of this match. I really, really did. He wasn't. He was selling. It was excellent. I mean, just well done to Randy Orton. He is one of the best to ever do it between the ropes in professional wrestling. And not just between the ropes, but even as a character, as an entertainer. This guy is truly, when all's said and done, maybe could be on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, no doubt about it. But let's be real, pretty much everyone in this match killed it. Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, I thought they continued their feud really well inside the chamber. Obviously now it looks like they're doing Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, not Kevin Owens, unless it's a triple threat match, which I'd have no problem with either. Obviously as well, Styles broke into the chamber when Bobby Lashley was injured, and Styles took out LA Knight. AJ Styles, LA Knight, WrestleMania 40. Again, take my money. I'm excited to see it. That one is going to be a great one, no doubt. And Elimination Chamber, right? Of course, you want to see a good match, but you also want to see a good match which tells stories leading to WWE's biggest event of the year. And this match did this extraordinarily well. I thought it was a really, really successful chamber match. I wouldn't say one of the best by any means, but it was a really, really strong match and one which I enjoyed. But Soul, I want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, as I said before with the men's, I did prefer the men's chamber. I thought it was very entertaining. Kevin Owens, hitting his head off the chamber pod as well. Logan doodling on the side of it because he snuck a marker in. I want to see the MVP of this, honestly. I do love Drew, but Bobby Lashley in those couple of seconds he did spearing, amazing. A few gripes though. Why wasn't Logan immediately chucked out when he lost? Was he just hanging at the edge and just waiting for the moment? I kind of would have, I feel like the ref or something like that, or the official should have just been like, out you go, go. But hey, fair enough. He got Drew the win, so I ain't complaining too much. All in all, though, I'm very, very happy for Drew because this is someone who deserves this, right? A Mania win for a championship in front of nobody during the hardest of times, and he put the company on his back, became the champion, and led through that whole troubling time, which was then finished off with Bobby Lashley helping it through into getting the crowds back.
Yeah, that's true.
To finally get a Mania spot against someone who's as talented as Seth freaking Rollins and winning that World Heavyweight Championship, Drew can take that belt and have I hate the guy, I don't like him personally, but he will have a great feud with CM Punk when Punk returns from injury to have that title. Drew and Punk, with Drew being the ultimate player hater and Punk being his little savior of everything and his cinnamon buns, whatever he likes to eat. That will be a great feud. Even myself, I can admit that will be a great feud to see. So yes, I am very happy for Drew to win this. As long as Damian Priest doesn't cash in, because I swear to God, if they try to pull another feud of it's Priest versus Drew until SummerSlam or till Punk's back, then it's just terrible booking at that point of view. But as well, I'm just very happy with Drew getting his moment, and I'm sure as hell he is going to get that Mania win.
Absolutely. No, I do hope you're right. I mean, CM Punk versus DM Hunk. I mean, that would be a fantastic feud, wouldn't it? They're building up now. That's what he's calling himself. But I mean, we got a few comments here. I mean, Coach 23 says bell to bell, it was one of the best Elimination Chamber matches in terms of action in recent years, despite a predictable outcome. I'll agree with that. I will agree with that indeed. David Marge saying that he loved the Kevin Owens pop-up powerbomb. Fantastic move. No doubt about it. But, Shad, I want to know your thoughts on this match and your thoughts on Drew McIntyre going to WrestleMania to face Seth Rollins.
Well, the match itself, yeah, I think it was match of the night as well. I thought a lot of counterparts in the match did what they needed to do. You know, great work from every superstar in there. I really liked Kevin Owens' work on there. I think he really gets you excited for this feud that he has with Logan Paul. Logan Paul selling very well, taking crazy bumps. Lashley with the spear through the pod, breaking through the plexiglass. LA Knight being as over as he is, doing the great stuff he does. And the extension of him and AJ Styles, right? Like we got a lot of progressions going into this as well, on top of Logan Paul, Randy Orton, possibly a match that we might get at Mania. I don't know. Kind of weird to see Randy Orton in the U.S. title picture, but I mean, you put your best players in the best position. You got to have your primetime people at Mania. At the end of the day, for Drew McIntyre to kind of get this moment, get this win, and build this match for him and Seth Rollins, it's the right way to go. He is easily the most like top-notch heel in WWE at the moment. He does great work week by week. He plays the bit in ring, on TV, and on Twitter, right? He is doing it very well. And I agree to a lot of what Soul's saying in that this is a moment he deserves. Obviously, it's completely different character. But this is a guy who we were questioning, getting bored with as a babyface, completely reinvented himself as a heel. Now is one of the most freshest characters, and he's putting himself week by week in position to make y'all excited to see what's going to happen. So I'm glad for him to get the moment. Obviously, a lot of these matches tonight were kind of telegraphed. We could kind of predict who the winner is, but I'm not too upset about this one just because I feel like it is a guy who is well deserving of the moment.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was obvious. I mean, both of these were obvious, these chamber matches. We said going into the show that maybe it felt a bit too predictable, but in reality, when it came to it, they're both really deserving of the moments, and the way they did it was really well, executed. And I mean, like Clark said with the women's chamber match, at points in this men's chamber match, you kind of thought, hang on a second, could Randy Orton win here? Could we see, a shock victory? And I mean, they suspended our disbelief for just a little bit.
Boy was selling like no, he was selling that back injury, and I love the psychology of that, man, because it made you literally feel like, oh man, like is he really hurt? Like it was great work by Randy, man. That legend, the legend killer is a legend now, and for stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, we got Marcus_Bro127 saying, did Randy injure his back? I mean, that shows you how good at selling Randy Orton is, that we are asking questions like that. I really hope we didn't. I think it was selling, but we'll have to wait and find out. I mean, Luca De Santoro was saying that he was there live. I hope you enjoyed it, Luca. And he was saying it was a big pop for Becky Lynch, but everybody wanted every time, and I bet you're thrilled by that, Shad. Of course, Coach 23 reminding us
my Australian brother right there, man. Let's go, Luca.
that Coach 23 is reminding us that Randy Orton was in the title picture for the US title at WrestleMania 34, of course, 6 years ago. Now he's returning.
6 years ago, Coach 23.
He won the title in 2018. That was what made him the 18th all-time Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, didn't Jinder
WWE
beat him at Mania though?
History.
Jinder won the title at Mania.
That was I believe Jinder did that. That sounds correct. Don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do know that when he did win that US title, it made him the 10th under the current Grand Slam format and the 18th all time.
Well, I want to know your thoughts, Clark, on this match. What did you think about the closing moments of Elimination Chamber? Well, they weren't closing moments, but the match.
I dug it. Randy Orton MVP, like we said. I was a little shocked. We didn't see a bigger reaction for LA Knight. Neither here nor there. I still thought he had a good match, and I thought Kevin Owens had a great match. I don't mind Orton and Paul at all. As much as we've praised Logan Paul's ability to adapt and get in the ring, we've only surrounded him with absolute veteran studs almost at every corner. And I think that's very helpful. Randy Orton being that makes a lot of sense to me. The other thing that I found really interesting about this match is coming off of like a catastrophic injury like Orton had as far as his back is concerned. We've noticed that he put on more muscle and whatnot, but the RKO out of nowhere is still so explosive at his age to be able to, even when he's selling the back on his hands and knees for Drew McIntyre and he pops up like a viper, like a snake, and strikes, the brilliance of the delivery of that move, because I was a huge fan of the Diamond Cutter, and it is a great move. There's no doubt about that. What Randy Orton did with the RKO and has done over the years, adjusting it from, he used to deliver it with basically one hand hooked early in his career as he became the legend killer, connected the hands. It's the best finishing move in all of wrestling right now, bar none. It is. Because it can be set up with the stalking his prey, the coiling for it. It can come out of nowhere. Every time he hits it, it's just pretty. It's easy for other people to sell. To me, there's not a more exciting or better finishing move than Randy Orton's. And we got plenty of them in tonight's chamber. So I was all over that. I loved it. And I'm excited, actually. I think Orton Paul makes a lot of sense. And talk about somebody he can catch in midair and hit one of those things out of nowhere for a Mania moment. A bunch of camera flashes. We've seen all kinds of different versions of it. The Evan Bourne version, maybe they go for that one. Maybe he catches him on a frog splash. There's a number of ways we can go about this, but I'm excited to see where they go, especially since Randy's involved. The fact that he's back, knowing how bad his back was, no pun intended there, but knowing how bad that back injury was, and he looks as good as ever, if not as strong as ever, testament to how great he is.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And the LA Knight point you made about him not really getting a loud pop, we'll talk about that on Monday, because I think there's a bit more to be discussed on that one for sure. But guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you to Clark, thank you to Shad, and thank you to Soul for joining me here. If you guys are on Spotify, please leave us a cheeky 5 stars. On all the platforms, please support us. We really, really appreciate it. We're here every day, usually, and tomorrow onwards, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for all the comments, and we hope you have a great Saturday, rest of your day. Peace, guys. See you.